Alright, welcome back Midlifers. So I think you all saw our first video on the unboxing and initial impressions. So a lot of you had quite a few questions, quite a few comments about the camera. So we brought it out today, day one of the review, so to speak. We're going to bring it out, just shoot a few images, see what images we get, and see how the camera actually handles in real life scenarios. So we're outside this part in the middle of Hougang in Singapore. It's evening time, so we don't really have bright sunlight. I have a lot of dogs barking behind me. Let's load a pack in and then let's start shooting.
Alright, so to give a third-party opinion, I am going to actually load this camera.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So for the viewers out there, I think let Ian load the camera first, then I'll explain what I have attached to the camera itself.
Yeah, so this is a new user. I've not used this camera. I have taken one shot on it before. So let's see how easy it is to load up. So we just pull this down, right?
Yep.
Then we open it. Oh, there's a pack inside.
So that's my empty pack.
Oh, okay. Wow, it fits very, very smoothly. It's like precision, man. It's like...
And there's no...
Yeah. There's no trouble like even putting it in. It's just drops in.
Yes.
Oh, very, very well made.
Yep.
Oh, and the click is satisfying.
Yes.
Wow, this is really
everything
good.
I've been saying.
Yeah.
It's quite well made.
Legit, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, let's go out, shoot. But before we go out and shoot...
Yeah, what do you have on your camera today?
So obviously I have yellow Polaroid strap.
Okay.
But I think for the light meter, we're going to use the Astro Hori. Yep. Okay, so we have the Astro Hori XH2 light meter attached. It's a 38-degree light meter. So that's the equivalent of an 80mm lens. The lens on this is 75mm. Since it is more or less actually a medium format Instax Mini, it should be quite equivalent. And then we're gonna take the shot. Wait, okay. And then we'll see what images we get. I hope we get some nice shots. Sun is coming down fast, so let's quickly take some shots.
Okay. So now we have resorted to taking photos of rocks again.
Yes, such as... Okay, I will eject my second shot.
Oh, I noticed it's like super easy to eject.
Yes, so it is well made, I would say. There are some like gripes about the camera, but user handling wise, I have really no complaints. But of course, this comes from a folder background. I'll explain some issues later on that I've noticed.
Quick, yeah. Let's go shoot. There's no light.
Okay, let's...
Okay, so the rangefinder I feel is a bit... Can't really tell because it's very small, but I guess it works. Right, so we have a photo of the trash can. So let's eject it. So what focal length is this equivalent to?
I think it's equivalent to about 60.
Okay.
They say 50 lah, but I don't think so.
Bokeh test now. So I'm gonna sit here, he's gonna take photos of me at all the f-stops. All the f-stops?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Okay. Gotta make myself comfortable because this is gonna take a while.
Okay, I think that's good. We take one shot, then you just take a shot.
We just take one to check exposure.
Yeah.
Right, so this sharpness target test. Can't even see the...
This is assuming you will focus correctly, yeah?
Yeah, assuming...
Honestly, I have no idea with the framing. That's the problem.
Yeah, I also couldn't tell the frame lines. Like, the right side, I can't really see.
Yeah. We're gonna do a double exposure. Just gonna try out this camera. Since it's a manual camera, we can do multiple exposures to the nth degree, but we're just gonna do like maybe 2 shots, okay? I'm gonna take Ian's silhouette against the sky.
Okay.
Then we're gonna throw over maybe these colorful buildings over that and see what we get. Okay?
Now, cock the shutter. Take it like this. Okay. Best of luck.
Okay. I always forget to cock the shutter.
Alright, so this is the photo that we've just taken. So you can see this is the wall and Prash is going to show you in real life how big is it.
Okay, so originally I framed it from here to about, I think here, somewhere there. Yeah, okay. But what I got was, I got to here and I got to here. Then on the floor, it went slightly past the floor, so you get a bit of the foreground down here. And then, of course, you get actually a little bit of spillover on this side. So it's quite a bit of image real estate, if you will. So I was suggesting that probably we should disregard the frame lines entirely and just shoot based on what we can see in the viewfinder. Of course, this will differ whether you wear spectacles or not, but I think we will get more accurate frame shots using this method instead. So let's take the next few shots like that. This is gonna be tricky. Oh, I think we're out of film.
Oh.
But I guess that's a great sign. That means we're having fun, and it's not because we're testing the camera. It's like we're trying to get nice images out so that we can kind of prove that it actually does as it's supposed to function.
This is like, what, the third pack already, right?
Yeah, it's our third pack in like the last, I guess, 45 minutes. So I think we're doing well, but we're also doing a lot of testing. I have some shots of where I shot it against sunlight and all that, so you can have a look at the flaring as well. I think Ian will share it right now. But let's continue taking a few more shots. Let's try to finish this pack, and then I'll give you my take on this camera in terms of user handling. All right, since this is not an automated camera, just be careful to not shoot on your dark slide. It does happen to all of us. So let's retake this shot. Okay. Might be a bit blurred though, because it's very dark right now. So, all right, I'm kind of getting into a nice rhythm. I guess there's a certain dance with using this camera. So you set your you meter the scene, you set your aperture, shutter speed, cock the shutter, focus, and then you shoot, and then you just eject the film out. Very simple, very easy to do, no real problem so far. Of course, let's cover that in a bit more detail later. We might have a lot of blur images.
Alright, so Singapore style.
Singapore street photography, if you will. Okay, we're shooting it in actually subdued light. It's the evening time.
It's about 5. We started at 5 plus.
Yes.
6.
Yes. So this is one of the things I think we've noticed about this camera. But before we go on to the bad things or the things we didn't like, maybe we want to share all the good things, okay, that they did well.
Okay.
I think personally, I'm impressed with the ejection lever that you spin around just to eject the dark slide, to eject the film. It's smooth. There's always full chemical spread. So far, as long as you do it continuously, there's no bending. Honestly, even when we did not do it continuously, we didn't really notice any obvious bending. What did you like?
I think the lens is fantastic. Actually, the lens, I think, easily resolves Instax. It might even resolve film properly.
Yes, probably. Yeah. But to be fair also, there is a lot, so there's pros and cons for each argument.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people want 120 format on this camera, but of course there's a lot of them available in the market as secondhand.
I mean, you can buy the vintage ones that we have.
Yes, so and you can get them for way cheaper. Yeah. So that's one argument. Of course, the other argument is none of them are new. So it would be nice to have it in a better format like this with warranty included. The other thing, of course, is technically for Instax film, you don't need a lens that is so great, you know. Fuji has been getting away with making it out of plastic for so long. But the fact that this lens is so good, it outresolves it.
But I suspect, right, that this might just be a test bed for them to build upon. Yes. Because you can see there's this other thing in the middle, right, that's blanked off. Yeah. It might be for meter or something, I don't know.
Could be.
They might add more features in future, and given the size of this, it's basically at 120 film.
Yes, it is. It is very close to it, actually.
Yeah. And I think the lens is pretty good.
Yeah. Another thing I really liked about it is the build quality. It's very well made, okay?
Yeah.
The only thing maybe build quality wise I have complaints about is this part here. So this tends to flip-flop a bit, okay, as you can see, okay. If it was a bit more secure, that would be nice. But other than that,
and there's no arrow on it, so you don't know which way to crank the thing.
Yeah, I think initially you won't know, so you might turn the other way. But you hear this clicking sound when you turn the wrong way.
No, but if you hear the clicking sound, you might think it's actually doing something.
Yeah. So that's the thing, lah. Yeah. So maybe better thought could have put into doing this. But after a while, you'll know. Or if you want, you can draw your own arrow there. You know.
And also, I would love that if there's something like a more audible click when you're done winding, so you don't keep winding it.
Yep.
Because there's no indicator like, oh, okay, you can stop now.
Yes. That's true.
And also no film counter.
Yeah, so those are some of the gripes. I think for me, coming from a folder background as well, one thing I had issues with is whenever you shift your aperture all the way down, okay, it becomes a little bit hard to focus, because when you move the focus dial, it hits the aperture dial. So you'll have to recheck your settings again.
Or you could focus with the front, I guess.
Yeah, you could focus, but it's a bit harder. There's a bit more resistance. Hand placement is very critical as well. So there was one point I think I put my finger underneath one of the interlock mechanisms, and I was wondering.
It was actually the rangefinder coupling. Then you were like, how come you couldn't?
Yeah, why did it spoil so fast and stop working? But turns out my hand was blocking it. So just be careful where you place it. And if you're gonna focus with this, I think it's safe to say it's okay. But if you're at a very small aperture like f/22, then of course you would have to. It might be better to just focus down here, lah. Yeah. So those. I guess some of the. What else do you not like about this camera?
Oh yeah. One thing I didn't like are the frame lines. The frame lines in the viewfinder make absolutely no sense.
Yes. So I think that will require a lot of practice and use before we get the hang of it.
Yeah, but basically what you see in the whole viewfinder is almost what you get.
Yeah, we wear spectacles, so our eyes are positioned a bit further. For those who don't, maybe it might be a bit different. So you'll need to test drive the camera a bit before you get the hang of it. The problem with Instax film is it's stuck at ISO 800. So this is going to cause problems in very bright light and very dim areas. So in very bright environments, sunny day, f/22 1/300 ISO 800 is not going to cut it.
Yeah, it maxes out at 1/300.
Yeah, it maxes out at 1/300. So we wish they did include some kind of filter threads, so you could attach some ND filters to compensate for very, very bright environments, but it doesn't have any filter threads. And another problem that arises is because there is no way to actually attach your flash to it. You know, in very dim environments, you can't trigger the flash.
But I would say that this is a very good entry into a larger format and a more manual format. So I actually bought my Min cameras because I wanted something more manual just to play around with. So I think this is a very good step in that direction if you're trying to get into large format, because the cameras are exactly like this.
Yes.
So you can like get a feel of a large format camera without actually going like knee deep inside. You can set the lens. It's exactly like your large format, right?
Yeah, it is like my large format, and it's actually exactly like a folder camera.
Yeah.
So they've done a good job recreating it. Of course, I guess we wish coming from a different era, a modern time, there were some user improvements. Okay, but I wouldn't say they are like deal breakers to me, lah. It's been a fun camera to shoot with.
I mean, to me, I have no complaints because it serves the purpose of being a camera very, very well.
Yeah, IQ is good. You just have to live with the cons of this camera.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, okay, many people gripe about the fact that this is 400 USD and it's very hard to stomach.
Actually, to be fair, we do not know the final price yet.
Yes, we don't know the final price yet.
And you know, TTArtisan being a China brand, they have these Black Friday deals where they suddenly give you like 50% off.
It could happen, but okay, this is not insider rumors.
No, but it's true because like most of their lenses, right? You should never buy them at full price because sometimes they will just have this sale, like 3 or whatever sale, right? And it's really, really very cheap.
Yeah, so if you're looking and you can wait, then of course you can do that.
It's because they might just suddenly spring a sale on this.
Who knows? You never know. But I think ultimately it's a fantastic buy, you know. But at 400 USD, if you compare it to other glass lens Instax cameras, it is actually very comparable. Okay, of course, if you're comparing with your Instax Mini 12, 11, this is going to cost a lot more, you know, even versus the Mini 99 or some of the Evo cameras, it's going to cost a lot more. So the price may be an issue to some people, but if the price is an issue, you're probably not the demographic because you're not looking into stepping into glass quality.
But I think you're just buying this purely for the experience. You will not buy this just for image quality because honestly speaking, even if you have bokeh on this kind of size, you can't really see.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Sometimes I can't even tell if it's accurately focused or not.
Yes.
Unless you use like a loop or like really...
Yes. I think if you all have any questions, you can feel free to drop them down below. We're gonna see if we can borrow one of Mint's TL70 cameras, okay? Another Instax glass camera.
Yep.
And maybe we can do a comparison. If you're keen on seeing that video, you can let us know down below. If not, this is Midlifers, Ian and Prash signing off. So we'll see you in the next episode of Midlifers. Yeah.